Hi, Conrad Zimmerman from FistShark Marketing here. If you like the show, we hope you'll consider supporting it with a small monthly contribution through Patreon. For less than the price of a pair of used panties from a greasy vending machine, you can help us to make jokes that truly sting. Just visit patreon.com/FistShark or click the big Patreon button at FistShark.com. And thanks for listening.
Follow me here, because this one gets complicated. Okay?
All right.
We have Fred Durst.
Sure. Everybody knows Fred Durst.
Fred Durst of the Limp Bizkit fame.
A national treasure, one might say.
Yeah, I mean, one might say.
They might say that. I don't think they would, but they might.
They wouldn't. No, they definitely wouldn't. But they might. They might say it.
It's possible. It's possible for the words Fred Durst is a national treasure to be said. Hell, I just said it. I mean, I didn't mean it.
You said it twice, so that's just how easy a mistake it is to make. So no one can be blamed for that. Now, the thing about Fred Durst is, yeah, a bit annoying.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, easily dismissed, though, I think.
Easily dismissed. And I have a theory about that. Why is Fred Durst such an easily dismissed annoyance? It's because he's got all of the annoying traits that you associate with Fred Durst, but none of them are particularly intense, I suppose is the word. His annoying habits and voice and opinions and mannerisms and just self, it's all toned down just enough to not be that remarkable. There are far more annoying celebrities than he.
You get the sense from Fred Durst that there isn't a whole lot of passion and belief behind what he's saying when these things come up.
Yes.
You know, when he's annoying.
Exactly.
He doesn't really feel it.
Right?
And so it's hard to get that investment into him being really annoying. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, now let me run a little thought experiment past you, so you can maybe see where I'm coming from here. Imagine Fred Durst.
Okay.
But everything turned up to the maximum. The way he dresses, the way he sings, the things he says and does. Imagine that, but like really fucking annoying though. Like all of that at its most extreme logical endpoint.
I mean, just thinking about it, I hate him already.
Right? Isn't that the worst? If his voice got whinier and his hat got more backwards. If you just turned all of those little traits up, as high as they go, I bring you what I would call the worst Durst. Fred Durst at his absolute lowest, at his vilest, at his squeakiest, at his most hat backwardsest.
Wow. It's horrifying, if I'm totally honest.
It's jaw-dropping.
I mean, just the bile that I can feel, like, trying to push its way up my throat.
It's bad.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting theory, the theory of the worst Durst, because it posits that a man who otherwise is dismissible and inconsequential is capable. He has the capability, the potential to be the absolute worst celebrity on planet Earth. And it's only because of his muted nature that he isn't. What happens if we take the chains off? Or, to put it more conceivably, to put it more realistically, what happens if we travel to an alternate dimension and find the Fred Durst that's the worst?
Okay, so you're suggesting that we attempt to explore the entirety of the multiverse.
Yes.
To find the most insipid, trite, frustrating version of Fred Durst in existence to serve as our client.
Yes. Now, we don't know much about what this particular alternative universe might be. Multiverse theory is something that's still in its infancy as a school of study, but we at FistShark, with myself as project head, have been making serious breakthroughs in the exploration of worlds and realities that are not our own. Now, we have some ideas as to what this alternate realm might be that houses the worst Durst. We can only assume that other celebrities on that planet are as bad as him, but none could be as bad because we simply do not have the technology or the philosophy to imagine something as worse as Fred Durst at his worst.
Well, how would you measure? I mean, there's no metrics, right?
There are no metrics whatsoever. We might need to invent whole new numbers when we find this guy, and we will find him. I'm dedicated.
You seem very passionate about this pursuit for the worst Durst.
Well, I simply believe that if we were to find the very worst Fred Durst in existence, and not just existence, existence is, and bring him to our plane, give him the old switcheroo, boot our Fred Durst out, bring this one across.
Yeah, Prince and Pauper that shit, sure.
Yeah, no problem at all. Imagine the money we would make from people hate watching him.
Oh, I mean, the view counts.
Right?
We could sell so many ads.
All the late night talk shows will be lining up to interview this guy, just so that they could get some of that reflected outrage.
Everybody would be partnering up. It'd be, Fred Durst with special guest Beyonce's Lemonade, right?
Exactly. I mean, God, we're going to get so rich. We're going to get so rich off of the back of the worst Fred Durst, just as soon as we find him.
So how are we looking? Like, what means are we using to access these other universes and find the worst Durst?
First of all, I've made a dramatic, bold step forward by firing all of the scientists who were working with me on the project.
That is bold.
Yeah, they were mouthing off a bit too much. I didn't like their attitudes. I didn't like their arguments that what I was trying to explore the multiverse for was trivial. Many of them were asking that we use it to try and say, go to a place where world peace was achieved. Or if it has to be celebrities, maybe find the best version of someone. Or go to an alternate reality where Prince didn't die and bring Prince back. And I tried to explain to them, A, you would not make as much money off of a Prince concert as you would off of the worst Fred Durst saying shit on a YouTube video. And B, Prince was never signed with FistShark, so what's the fucking point?
You know what? I'd be willing to bet that there is not a single parallel universe in existence where Prince signs with FistShark. I just can't see it.
And if there is, something tells me that the alternate universe FistShark wouldn't want to sign him over to us. So it'd be a moot point anyway. Gotta respect the business no matter what reality it's in.
Right. But if we were to find a parallel dimension where the worst Durst exists, but everything else is also kind of shitty, they won't feel that as such a loss.
Exactly.
They'd be happy to ship him over to us. We can capitalize on our worst Durst. And hey, you know what? Maybe we work out a swap. We give them our sort of mediocre Durst, and he's going to look like a super cool dude in comparison, right?
Exactly. There's literally no drawback to finding the most annoying, irritating, hateable Fred Durst in all of reality and bringing him over to our world where he belongs. If anything, I think it's restoring the balance. The balance of what? I don't know, but it's restoring it. Oh, Jim, I got into exploring this so that I could find a world where no one would ever have to go through what I went through when I lost so-and-so. Fuck off! I'm trying to find Fred Durst! At his worst! Scientists, their morals.
It's depressing, Whatever happened to the guy who says, "Oh, I don't drop the bomb, I just build it"?
Right? What happened to the guy who said, "I'll put an ear on the back of a mouse, that seems like a laugh"?
Science used to really be progressive.
Yeah.
Used to push boundaries, and now it seems so scared of what it might find.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Not to worry. I have been working with Dr. Nightscream. I've been working with Balthazar and the Satanists who live in the basement.
See, people with open minds, that's what we need.
Right. People who will take a fresh, new, potentially scary idea and not just run away from it, will actually face it head on and say, yes, this is unexplored territory. This is a realm beyond the unknown, but I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do it. And so, we've maybe almost nearly done it.
Wow. Okay, so how's it work?
What we've done is we've tied a bit of string between two empty yogurt pots.
Okay.
Yeah, we figure if we hold one end and fling the other near a thunderstorm, something will happen.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, give one to Craig,
Obviously, yeah.
throw the other one into a thunderstorm, and see what happens to Craig.
Exactly.
And if he winds up in a parallel universe, that's great.
Yeah, yeah. I won't sniff at that result.
If something happens to him to where, I don't know, it disintegrates him entirely or turns him into a puddle. Yeah, I mean, really, I see no way it goes wrong if we just do the experiment via Craig, see what happens, and we should just send him on the scouting mission to find people if we're going to send people to parallel universes.
Oh, that reminds me. Let's shelve this discussion for now because I've just gotten a bunch of defibrillators cheap from a hospital. I was going to make Craig lick them to see which ones work.
We've been hacked, Jim.
Hacked!
Hacked!
Oh, fuck.
All of our personal secrets gone out in the wild.
Not the personal data. That's my best data.
Yep, no, it's all gone. Everything is gone, and it's just being published out wide in chunks. And I'm terrified because you know the things that we can't have anybody finding out about in this place.
Practically all of it. We can't have any of this. How is this getting out? First of all, how are we hacked? We don't have computers in the building. We're not allowed them anymore. The senior partners said.
Not since the Great Brazzers Calamity of 2012. We haven't been allowed to have any computers in here.
So, do we know how we got hacked? Or is that not germane to the issue because, we've got more interesting things in this subject to talk about?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know that how we got hacked is necessarily the most important thing. The more important thing is that the information is out there. I don't know if you've seen this here, but let me bring this up. There's a story that's circulating right now that WikiLeaks has released our ties to Slotvania.
What?
Like, people know that we have been selling goods to Slotvania.
Okay, they know we've been selling goods to Slotvania. That's a problem. There's a trade embargo on Slotvania. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, nobody's allowed to sell anything to Slotvania or buy anything from it.
Yeah.
And that's been great because it's allowed us to corner the market for a very, very long time in Slotvania.
That's the problem. I mean, look, we're not the only company selling goods on the sly to Slotvania. That we can spin. No problem whatsoever. But, and I'm reticent to look at the articles myself, do they know about everything with regards to the trading with Slotvania? Do they know about the other stuff?
It seems all relatively surface level and benign at this point. It's mostly things about our pharmaceutical division selling unapproved drugs over in Slotvania, a little bit about the cheap labor.
Okay, that's all standard stuff.
Yeah, it's nothing too weird yet.
Social media's not going to blow up about that. So long as they don't find out about the wolves, then we're good.
Wait, which wolves? Are these the wolves for the wolf pit?
Oh, no, different wolf thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So which wolves are these?
These are Slotvanian wolves that I've been shipping over from Slotvania. Not really adhering to border control issues, health and safety regulations, absolutely bypassing all quarantine procedures. I've been trading Coca-Cola products, which very hard to come by in Slotvania due to both their political structure and the trade embargo, and that period in the 80s where Slotvania thought Coca-Cola was French for Satan. I've been trading that over, goes down a treat. They've been giving me rare Slotvanian Wolfens.
Wait, how rare? I mean, the Slotvanian grey wolf is practically extinct.
Yeah. Do you remember in sort of the early 2000s when Slotvania was known for its many, many wolves?
Oh, yeah, the children of the night.
Yeah, and how they're mostly nearly extinct now.
Right, yeah, through hunting and through, for food, yeah. Because that's the Slovenian economy eventually reached a point that wolves were really going to be the best source of protein produced inside the borders.
Yeah. There are 5 wolves in Slovenia now.
5?
Yeah, and I'm really hoping to get that last 5 before any news breaks.
Ooh, I don't know. You might have to work quickly because it's only going to be a matter of time before the major networks pick this up.
How many Cokes do we have in the office?
I don't know. There's probably a few in the broke room.
I think we got 5?
You're trading 1 Coke for 1 wolf?
They're a very poor country.
That's true. That's true, yeah.
And I've been taking muy advantage of it.
Well, that's what they're there for, right? I mean, lesser economies are there to be exploited by greater economies.
The big economy eats the little economy.
Right. That's just the food chain.
Yeah, it's the circle of strife.
So yeah, I don't see necessarily a problem with exploiting them, but wow, that seems cheap.
It's a good deal.
What are you doing with these endangered wolves then? Are you going to try and start a breeding program and get them back going, or?
No. Different wolf thing. I wouldn't worry about it, if I'm quite honest, for at least a week, maybe 2. Have you ever looked outside at the weather and thought, fuck you, weather?
I think about that all the time. Pretty much every time I look out the window, I think, fuck you, weather. It's never where I want it to be.
Exactly. Many years ago, there was a very famous song that went, I don't care what the weatherman says it's raining. You'll never hear me complaining, I'm sure the sun will shine. The naive words of a fool, if I'm quite honest. He had no idea of knowing what the weather was like. Was he trained in meteorology? No, he was not.
No, he's a songwriter. That's a totally different profession.
Just a songwriter. He knows nothing of cumulus nimbuses and solar stuff. Not like us.
Well, you have to have the training. You have to have access to the knowledge and the resources and the research, and it's all there.
Yes, and singing a little song doesn't help you control the weather.
No. For that, you'd need some kind of high magic or, I don't know, some kind of dome. I don't know, like a bubble or something, some biome that you can, create and control the interior of, because the exterior, there are too many forces to control. Ultimately, there's too much variance, too much probability, too much math involved in the actual control of weather on a large scale.
Conrad, it sounds like you're describing the FistShark Weatherball.
Weatherball? Tell me more.
Why, the FistShark Weatherball is the ultimate way to control the weather from the convenience of your own self. Imagine, if you will, your very own, and you said it better than I ever could, you literally said it better than I could. Say it again?
Biome?
That's the one. Imagine one of those that is inhabiting your own personal space without affecting the outside world.
Wait, so it's an individual biome?
It is your own personal, customizable, set it and forget it weather.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
That's astounding.
Yeah. You know those big bubbles that they make sick kids sit in?
Oh, sure, yeah, the inflatable quarantine bubbles, yeah.
Yeah, we got loads of those. Bigger. The size of adults.
Nice. Okay, and so people can just hang out inside that and set their weather inside the big bubble.
Yes, thanks to a convenient set of internalized tools that the user can enjoy at their own leisure, they will be able to set their own climate to their exacting specifications. It is the Weatherball, and it is humanity's finest invention.
So people go outside and instead of getting into, like, say, their car...
Oh, yeah. This will replace a car. It's quite round, so I'm assuming it'll roll.
Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, that makes sense. So they're going to run down the street like people in little hamster balls.
Yeah. I mean, on second thought, you can't actually roll with it. But that's just a little bit of a kink we're going to work out. But I'll get to that later. What's important is the achievement. What's important is the technology. And that just speaks for itself. Oh, look, it's sunny outside. Maybe a bit too warm. I'm not a fan of warm weather. It's okay. Within the weather bubble, it's as cool as I need it to be. Maybe it's too cloudy. Maybe I like the sunny weather. Well, the Weatherball has its own sun, so that's fine.
It has its own, source of solar light.
Has its own source of light, yes. Do you want it to rain? Do you want it to rain?
Sure, I like a little rain from time to time.
I find it soothing. I find it calming. You can do that. You can have it rain in your Weatherball. It's your Weatherball. I don't give a shit.
How would that work, though? Because are we piping water into the Weatherball? Like a faucet with a shower head?
Well, I know you want specifics.
I do.
Because you quite literally just asked for them. And that's why I like you. You're a shrewd businessman. The Weatherball has everything you need already inside it to create your own weather. Do you want it to rain? Well, we emptied several buckets of water into the bottom of the ball so that when you walk, it'll splash around and rain on you. If you don't want it to rain, stand still.
But then aren't you just standing in, ankle-deep water?
But you can have it as sunny as you like. I mean, you got to be careful because the flashlights we give them don't play well with the water. But so long as you are very, very careful and you kept the torch dry while you were making it rain, then yeah, you can have it sunny if you want.
Okay, all right, so what if it's too sunny then?
Right, well, you just turn your flashlight off.
Yeah, but that's not going to help during the day. I mean, if it's a clear bubble.
Oh, of course,
actual sunlight will come through, won't it?
You're worried about real weather trying to infiltrate
Right.
the user's personalized weather system. I see what you mean. You can, of course, because this is an all-in-one weather system control, you can, of course, create your own clouds.
That's exciting.
Simply reach down into the puddle below you, where you'll find a can of white spray paint, and then you can draw clouds. Hey, do you remember how as children you had to look up into the sky and invent the shapes of clouds?
Oh, yeah, that was so much fun.
Now you can just draw your own cock and balls in the sky. You don't have to use your own imagination. Like a dumb chump from the 90s. You can draw your own clouds.
Yeah, draw your own dick cloud. It's right there for you.
You can have as many dicks as you want on your Weatherball. I don't give a shit. It's your Weatherball.
That sounds amazing. A hermetically sealed environment where people can create their own. The only problem is it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't sound very mobile. Like that water pooling at the bottom, I would think would make it difficult to roll down the street.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't at first because we put in a bit of water and they could run and it would splash and it would rain. And then some people were like, well, I mean, some people, I was like, what about heavy weather?
Right.
What about torrential downpour? What about monsoon season, for Christ's sake?
What if you want to experience a haboob?
Yeah. What if people want a haboob? So we put in some sawdust along with the water, and that's created a sort of mulch, and that's hard to move now. It's also quite hard to move because a lot of them are weak from spray paint fumes.
Right.
And also some of them electrocuted themselves.
So,
The flashlight. It was the flashlight and the water, which I initially didn't think was a problem, because, first of all, we've got our thunderstorm sorted out. But second of all, they did stop moving, and you can't really show off the weather when people inside the Weatherball aren't moving to operate the controls. A little bit selfish of our focus group there, a little bit self-centered. I need to lie down a bit. I can't stand up, my head and lungs are full of water.
Yeah, some people are just, they don't see the bigger picture, I guess.
Well, you can't get the help, that's the problem.
So how many QA have we lost?
Do you want me to lie, or do you want me to say 56?
You can lie.
Yeah, about 5.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Yeah, 6 maybe.
Yeah, all right.
Another 50 on top of that.
5 or 6?
Yeah.
5, 6?
No real problem. 5, 6. That'll do. As a number.
Okay.
As far as numbers go. Let's not worry about the death toll. Let's worry about the fact that they're not moving, and the people inside who are still mobile are kind of scratching at the sides, and you can hear their muffled screams.
Now, you see, that just seems irresponsible, because they could damage their Weatherball.
Right?
It's thin plastic, right? It's really designed as a quarantine barrier initially, before we sort of repurposed it to our ends.
I mean, we made it thick enough that it's inescapable.
Right. Oh, okay, good.
But with enough scratching, they might cause some scuff marks. And I'd like to resell the test ones along with everything else, save some money. And I can't resell some of these now.
Yeah.
Not with the detritus that's inside them.
That's really a shame. You try to save a buck, and everybody works against you. Oh, no, who cares about your problems? Who cares about your expenses?
Oh, help me, I'm choking. You're in the middle of a haboob, of course you are. Should have packed a neck scarf and put that round your mouth. That's what I would have done.
Yeah.
Although you wouldn't have got me in one of those things for love nor money.
Fuck no.
It's a little claustrophobic in there. I said they were adult size. They're not quite adult size. They're about a step or two down.
How many steps?
You got to crouch.
So these people are all crouched, almost in a ball themselves.
Yeah.
At the bottom of the Weatherball.
Yes. And my main problem I have with this is if I took some of the excess spray cans that we hadn't put in there and just sprayed the exterior of all of these rubber coffins that are around the streets of Boston, do you think people would confuse them for just really big snowballs and leave them alone?
Sure. FistShark Marketing is Jim Sterling and Conrad Zimmerman. Theme music by Ben Rama. Additional music by Alizar Chand. Our editor is Austin Yorsky. Get more episodes and learn how to support the show at FistShark.com. Follow us on Twitter at FistShark for more of our exploits. Complaints can be forwarded via email to fistsharkmarketing@aol.com. And remember, time heals all wounds. So who needs healthcare? Goodbye.